Example 1, area and circumference. The circle shown has centre C. Find its area and circumference to one decimal place. So recall, the area of a circle is calculated using pi r squared, A for area, so A equals pi r squared. And the circumference can be calculated in two different ways, either 2 pi r or pi d. So, first of all, let's calculate the area. We don't know the radius, we need to find it. We're given the diameter of 42. So if we do 42 divided by 2, that's 21. Then the area will be pi times 21 squared. You can stick this in the calculator and it will give you 1385.4. And this is an area, remember, so this is to one decimal place. It's an area, remember, the diameter and radius were in centimetres, so this will be centimetres squared. Finding the circumference, we can use either of these now, because we know the diameter is 42, but we also know the radius is 21, so it doesn't matter which one we need. Let's use pi d because we're given d in the question. So let's do pi times 42, and this will give you 131.9 to one decimal place. And remember, the circumference is a length, it's the distance all the way around, so it'll just be in centimetres. Some questions may ask you to leave your answer in terms of pi. So what that means is, for example, this part, if we wanted it in terms of pi, we could just do 21 squared, which is 441, and then write it like that, 441 pi, 441 times by pi. So this avoids any errors because obviously you could round this in many different ways depending on how they're asked. So if they want it in terms of pi, pi should be in your final answer. Same for the circumference, we could have just left this as 42 pi if we want our answer in terms of pi. Sector area and arc length. The sector of a circle has a centre C as shown. Find the area of the sector and the arc length to one decimal place. So let's tackle the area first. Remember, that is just a fraction of the total area of the circle. The total area of a circle is given by pi r squared. And then as a fraction, we would do the angle. We can call it x over 360. So substituting in the values that we know. So pi r squared, r is 8, times by 120 over 360. Sticking this in your calculator, you'll get to one decimal place 67.0. And remember, this is an area and the radius was measured in centimetres, so centimetres squared. The arc length can be calculated in a similar way. It's just a fraction of the circumference. The circumference is given by 2 pi r, and then we times by the same fraction, x over 360, the angle over 360. So substituting in the values that we know, 2 pi times 8 times x, our angle, 120 over 360. And again, you can stick this in your calculator now and it will give you 16.8. And this is a length because it's the arc length part of the circumference, which is a distance. So just in centimetres, not centimetres squared, not centimetres cubed, nothing like that. The segment area can be a little bit tricky, but if we can work out the full sector area and then take away the triangle, we should be okay. So the sector area will be given by our angle, x, over 360, times by the whole area of the circle, like that. And then we're going to take away the area of the triangle, which we can work out as half AB sine C. Substituting in the values that we know, well, the angle is 87, so 87 over 360, times by pi r squared, so pi times 9 squared, take away. Now, half AB sine C might not mean a lot in the context of this question. However, A and B will both be 9 because they're both radii, and then C, our angle, will be the 87. So it's going to end up being 9 squared times sine of 87. And then you can just stick all of this in your calculator, and to one decimal place, this will give you 21.1. And remember, this is an area, so it will be in centimetres squared. If you found this video useful, why not try the topic exam on our learning platform? Here, you can answer a series of questions and get instant feedback, both in a written solution format, so I got this one wrong, so I can just double check how I've done it with a written solution, or if I'm still unsure, I've got the video solution here that can talk me through it, where an expert will solve the problem.